Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll be reading a couple of selections from the wonderful book Awareness, The Perils and Opportunities of Reality, written by author Anthony De Mello. I look forward to sharing the selections today and hope that you have a wonderful time. If you enjoy the readings, please like and subscribe to the channel and share with anybody that you might think could benefit from this wonderful book. Thank you so much. Today we're reading chapter 34 and 35. Chapter 34 is entitled Clinging to Illusion. When you cling, life is destroyed. When you hold on to anything, you cease to live. It's all over the gospel pages, and one attains this by understanding. Understand. Understand another illusion. Too, that happiness is not the same as excitement. It's not the same as thrills. That's another illusion. That a thrill comes from living a desire fulfilled. Desire breeds anxiety, and sooner or later it brings its hangover. When you've suffered sufficiently, then you are ready to see it. You're feeding yourself with thrills. Thrills is like feeding a racehorse with delicacies. You're giving it cakes and wine. You don't feed a racehorse like that. It's like feeding a human being with drugs. You don't fill their stomach with drugs. You need good, solid, nutritious food and drink. You need to understand all this for yourself. Another illusion is that someone else can do this for you. That some savior or guru or teacher can do this for you. Not even the greatest guru in the world can take a single step for you. You've got to take it for yourself. St. Augustine said it so marvelously. Jesus Christ himself could do nothing for many of his hearers. Or to repeat that lovely Arab saying, the nature of the rain is the same, and yet it produces thorns in the marsh and flowers in the garden. It is you who have to do it. No one else can help you. It is you who have to digest your food. It is you who have to understand. No one else can understand it for you. Nobody can seek for you. And if what you seek is truth, then you must do this. You can lean on no one. There is yet another illusion, that is it important to be respectable, to be loved and appreciated, to be important. Many say we have a natural urge to be loved and appreciated, to belong. That's false. Drop this illusion and you will find happiness. You have a natural urge to be free, a natural urge to love, but not to be loved. Sometimes in my psychotherapy sessions, I encounter a very common problem. Nobody loves me. How then can I be happy? I explain to him or her, you mean you never have any moments when you forget you're not loved and you let go and are happy? Of course they have. A woman, for example, is absorbed in a movie. It's a comedy and she's roaring with laughter. And in that blessed moment, she's forgotten to remind herself that nobody loves her. Nobody loves her. Nobody loves her. She's happy. Then she comes out of the theater and her friend, whom she saw the movie with, goes off with a boyfriend, leaving the woman all alone. So she starts thinking, all my friends have boyfriends and I have no one. I'm so unhappy. Nobody loves me. In India, many of our poor people are starting to get transistor radios, which are quite a luxury. Everybody has a transistor. You hear, but I don't have a transistor. I'm so unhappy. Until everyone started getting transistors, they were perfectly happy without one. That's the way it is with you. Until somebody told you you wouldn't be happy unless you were loved, you were perfectly happy. You can become happy not being loved, not being desired by or attracted to someone. You become happy by contact with reality. That's what brings happiness. A moment-by-moment contact with reality. That's where you'll find God. That's where you'll find happiness. But most people are not ready to hear that. Another illusion is that external events have the power to hurt you. That other people have the power to hurt you. They don't. It's you who give this power to them. Another illusion, you are all those labels that people have put on you, that you have put on yourself. You're not. You're not. So you don't have to cling to them. The day that somebody tells me I'm a genius and I take that seriously, I'm in big trouble. Can you understand why? Because now I'm going to start getting tense. I've got to live up to it. I've got to maintain it. I've got to find out after every lecture. Did you like this lecture? Do you still think I'm a genius? See? So what do you need to do is smash the label. Smash it and you're free. Don't identify with those labels. That's what someone else thinks. That's how he experienced you at that moment. Are you in fact a genius? Are you a nut? Are you a mystic? Are you crazy? What does it really matter? Provided you continue to be aware, to live life from moment to moment, how marvelously it is described in those words of the gospel. Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns. Consider the lilies of the field. They neither toil nor spin. That's the real mystic speaking, the awakened person. So why are you anxious? Can you for all your anxieties add a single moment to your life? Why bother about tomorrow? Is there life after death? Will I survive after death? Why bother about tomorrow? Get into today. Someone said, life is something that happens to us while we're busy making other plans. That's pathetic. Live in the present moment. This is the one of the things you will notice happening to you as you come awake. You find yourself living in the present, tasting every moment as you live it. Another fairly good sign is when you hear the symphony, one note after the other, without wanting to stop it. That concludes chapter 34, entitled Clinging to Illusion. Let's begin chapter 35, entitled Hugging Memories. That brings me to another theme, another topic. But this new topic ties in very much with what I've been saying and with my suggestions of becoming aware of all the things we add to reality. Let's take this one step at a time. A Jesuit was telling me the other day how years ago he gave a talk in New York where Puerto Ricans were very unpopular at the time because of some incident. Everybody was saying all kinds of things against them. So in his talk, he said, let me read to you some of the things that people in New York were saying about certain immigrants. What he read to them was actually what people had said about the Irish and about the Germans and about every other wave of immigrants that had come to New York years before. He put it very well when he said, these people don't bring delinquency with them. They become delinquent when they're faced with certain situations here. We've got to understand them. If you want to cure the situation, it's useless reacting from prejudice. You need understanding, not condemnation. That is how you bring about change in yourself, not by condemnation, not by calling yourself names, but by understanding what's going on, not by calling yourself a dirty old sinner. No, 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 no. In order to get awareness, you've got to see, and you can't see if you're prejudiced. Almost everything and every person we look at in a prejudiced way. It's almost enough to dishearten anybody. Like meeting a long-lost friend. Hey, Tom, I say, it's good to see you, and I give him a big hug. Whom am I hugging? Tom or my memory of him? A living human being or a corpse? I'm assuming that he's still the attractive guy I thought he was. I'm assuming he still fits in with the idea I have of him and with my memories and associations, so I give him a hug. 5 minutes later, I find that he's changed, and I have no more interest in him. I hugged the wrong person. If you want to see how true this is, listen. A religious sister from India goes out to make a retreat. Everybody in the community is saying, oh, we know, that's part of her charisma. She's always attending workshops and going to retreats. Nothing will ever change her. Now, it so happens that the sister does change at this particular workshop or therapy group or whatever it is. She changes. Everyone notices the difference. Everyone says, my, you've really come to some insights, haven't you? She has, and they can see the difference in her behavior, in her body, in her face. You always do when there's an interchange. It always registers in your face, in your eyes, in your body. Well, the sister goes back to her community, and since the community has a prejudiced, fixed idea about her, they're going to continue to look at her through the eyes of that prejudice. They're the only ones who don't see any change in her. They say, oh, well, she seems a little more spirited, but just wait, she'll be depressed again. In a few weeks, she is depressed again. She's reacting to the reaction. And they all say, see, we told you so, she hadn't changed. But the tragedy is that she had, only they didn't see it. Perception has devastating consequences in the matter of love and human relationships. Whatever a relationship may be, it certainly entails two things. Clarity of perception, in as much as we're capable of it. Some people would dispute to what extent we can attain clarity of perception, but I don't think anyone would dispute that it is a desirable that we move toward it. And accuracy of response. You're more likely to respond accurately when you perceive clearly. When your perception is distorted, you're not likely to respond accurately. How can you love someone whom you do not even see? Do you really see someone you're attached to? Do you really see someone you're afraid of and therefore dislike? We always hate what we fear. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. People say to me sometimes, but wait a minute. I hope they understand what they're saying, because we always hate what we fear. We always want to destroy and get rid of and avoid what we fear. When you fear somebody, you dislike that person. You dislike that person insofar as you fear that person. And you don't see that person either because your emotion gets in the way. Now, that's just as true when you are attracted to someone. When true love enters, you no longer like or even dislike people in the ordinary sense of the word. You see them clearly and you respond accurately. But at this human level, your likes and dislikes and preferences and attractions, etc., continue to get in the way. So you have to be aware of your prejudices. Your likes, your dislikes, your attractions, they're all there. They come from your conditioning. How come you like things that I don't like? Because your culture is different from mine. Your upbringing is different from mine. If I give you some of the things to eat that I relish, you turn away in disgust. There are people in certain parts of India who love dog flesh, yet others, if they were told they were being served dog steak, would feel sick. Why? Different conditioning, different programming. Hindus would feel sick if they knew they had eaten beef, but Americans enjoy it. You ask, but why don't you eat? They eat beef for the same reason you won't eat your pet dog. The same reason. The cow to the Indian peasant is what your pet dog is to you. He doesn't want to eat it. There's a built-in cultural prejudice against it, which saves an animal that's needed so much for farming, etc. So why do I fall in love with a person really? Why is it that I fall in love with one kind of person and not another? Because I'm conditioned. I've got an image, subconsciously, that this particular type of person appeals to me, attracts me. So when I meet this person, I fall head over heels in love. But have I seen her? No. I'll see her after I marry her. That's when the awakening comes. And that's when my love may begin. But falling in love has nothing to do with love at all. It isn't love, it's desire, burning desire. You want with all your heart to be told by this adorable creature that you're attractive to her. That gives you a tremendous sensation. Meanwhile, everybody else is saying, what the hell does he see in her? But it's his conditioning. He's not seeing. They say that love is blind. Believe me, there's nothing so clear-sighted as true love. Nothing. It's the most clear-sighted thing in the world. Addiction is blind. Attachments are blind. Clinging, craving, and desire are blind, but not true love. Don't call them love. But of course, the word has been desecrated in most modern languages. People talk about making love and falling in love, like the little boy who says to the little girl, have you ever fallen in love? And she answers, no, but I've fallen in like. So what are people talking about when they fall in love? The first thing we need is clarity of perception. One reason we don't perceive people clearly is evident. Our emotions get in the way, our conditioning, our likes and dislikes. We've got to grapple with that fact. But we've got to grapple with something much more fundamental, with our ideas, with our conclusions, with our concepts. Believe it or not, every concept that was meant to help us get in touch with reality ends up being a barrier to getting in touch with reality, because sooner or later we forget that the words are not the thing. The concept is not the same as the reality. They're different. That's why I said to you earlier that the final barrier to finding God is the word God itself and the concept of God. It gets in the way if you're not careful. It was meant to be a help. It can be a help, but it can also be a barrier. That concludes chapter 35 entitled Hugging Memories. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the readings from this wonderful book, Awareness by Anthony De Mello. Please do me a favor, leave a comment on your thoughts about it, like and subscribe, and please share with your friends. It really goes a long way. I am going to put a link to the book through my Amazon affiliate link. It will help support the channel. I just hope you guys have a wonderful day, man. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care, guys.